This is the XPpen Artist 27 Gen 2 screen, and we're going to go over the installation process for a XOOT ARM system. So let's pull the camera in closer and we'll give you a close-up of this operation. So here's the parts we need for the job. This is the touch strips. We'll go over that later. We have the mounting plate, which I've taken from the MT12 XOOT ARM kit. And these are the nuts that came with the mounting plate, thumb screws, and the wrench I used to take the nuts off with. And then we have the screen. Now, for the screen, there's a little bit of a complication here in that the mounting plate overlaps this cable bay back here. So there's a little trickiness that has to happen there, but it's not too bad. And one quick thing in looking at the mounting plate, it's the 4 outer holes here on the mounting plate is what will be lining up on this arm. And you can tell the underside of the mounting plate because it has these 2 ovals here. Those line up with the bottom part of the screen. So there's a top and bottom to the mounting plate. All right, that's it. Okay, so here we are. I'm starting out with the screen facing the XOOT arm, and I have the mounting plate off and over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the cables coming out of the XOOT arm right now, and I'm going to hook them up inside the screen. So that requires me to kind of adjust this a little closer and push it close in, but it's pretty self-evident where the cables go. And I should note here, this is not a video capable USB cable. If you want to install a video capable USB cable in the arm, there's a separate video for that. And we also sell cables for that. Okay, so right here, I've connected all of the cables. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift my mounting plate up. I'm going to align it so that these 2 ovals go to the down side here. Then I'm going to take a thumb screw. I'm going to put one of the thumb screws in those holes I showed you earlier. And I'm going to look down here and line it up with the hole on the back of the screen and just start it out. Don't tighten it up. Now I'm going to make sure that the cables route here. Looks like this one popped out. Let's put that over here. I think I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to put the HDMI cable, I'm going to push it down here so it goes out the underside of the cable bay. So it goes down and then out and then up. And then I'm going to put in the power again. The display port, we can put that one so it goes up and over, and USB just fits in there nicely. Now that all the cables seem to be going in the right way, I'm going to continue to put in the thumb screws. And I'm just going to start them out. Now I'm just going to go around and tighten them all up again just to make sure that they're tight. Okay, now that all these cables are ready, I'm going to slowly pick up the screen here. I'm going to make sure that these little nuts are ready to grab onto. And it helps that I can kind of go over here to the back side of the arm. And I'm going to pick it up. And what I want to do is I'm going to have the power cable, the DP cable, and the USB cable all come in from the side. And over here, I'm going to have the HDMI cable go down, over, and then through the bottom. Put that back there. There they go. Now, all those studs here are through. I'm holding the screen back into the arm. I pick up a nut and I hand tighten it. Just a few little turns on there. Then I'm going to take another one, 2 nuts on here. Now 3. Now that 2 nuts are on, the danger's kind of past. There's not much chance the screen is going to pop out. There we go. Now for tightening the nuts, I like to kind of push the arm out a little bit, and that just holds it. Now I'm going to take the wrench and I'm going to tighten up all those nuts. Okay. And now I'm going to go around just one more time and make sure the nuts are all tight. Okay. Now, forgot to show these first. I'll put the nut caps on the nuts. Okay, now we'll deal with some cable slack here. We want to make sure that any excess cable slack, say here for the HDMI cable, it tends to have a little bit of cable slack. I'm just going to kind of push a bend in it right in here to take up some of that slack. Likewise, everything else here is looking pretty clean, and you can check by the fact that is there any contact with the cables on the back of the arm as it rotates, and they're all clearing. So that's pretty good. Now, let's attach the touch strips. So here we are looking at the back of the screen. I'll be placing touch strips on both sides of the arm over here. Now, for your touch strips, you'll see that they have audio jacks on either side here, and we want those audio jacks to point towards the middle of the arm. Now, where to put the touch strips, I'm going to kind of figure out where I'm going to go. Right about here seems good. Kind of like I'm doing about a thumb's distance from here. You can install the touch strips around the screen wherever you want to your liking. I just like to have them on the sides like this. Now that we have where we want the touch strips to go, it's a good thing to do to make sure there's no grease or anything on the sides of the screen. I'm just going to take a little window cleaner or, something that's mild, and will clean off a bit of any surface grease on there to get better adhesion. There we go. Let that dry a little bit. Now, while it's drying, I'm going to make sure I have the right touch strip lined up. Then you have these adhesive pads on the back. You can use tweezers to pry them off. I'm pretty good at using my fingernail to kind of get under there, loosen it up, and then peel it off. Your ability to do that may differ. I've just done this a lot. Now, the color on these may be different on your unit. Sometimes it's both red. But now that this is ready to place, I'm going to go up here, kind of line up, kind of a marker where I want it to go, and there. So we have one touch strip there, one touch strip there. Give it a good press. Now, these are automotive grade adhesive. and they bond better over time. So yeah, right now it's at its weakest point. Overnight, it'll probably be a lot stronger bond right here. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay. Now with the touch strips in, we're going to take the straight end of your auxiliary audio cable, plug that in, and you want to make sure it goes all the way in there. When I'm doing that, I'm kind of bracing it over there. So now that the plug is all the way in, I'm going to push the screen forward here. I'll give you an alternate view, but I'm going to plug this touch strip into the closest port on this combiner board underneath. Likewise, I'm going to go over here, plug that in, and then underneath the behind this mounting plate and this rotation ring, there are 3 audio jacks under there, and I'm going to plug this one in the closest. And once that's plugged in, it's ready to power up the system and test it out. All right, there's one more thing I should cover, and which of these 2 power connectors goes to which power supply. This is your XPpen power supply, and if you'll look, this is the shorter power cable coming out of here. It doesn't go through this loop over there. That is your screen power cable. So you will plug your XPpen into the shorter power cable coming out of the screen. And over here, the one that goes through the loop, which is the longer of the 2 power cables coming out of here. There should even be a XOOT label on there. Oh, I guess this is a prototype one. I just wrote it with hand. But there it is. And this is your XOOT power cable. So there you go. XOOT power cable is the long one, and your XPpen power connector here is the short one. So the XOOT power cable is the long one, and the XPpen power connector over here is the short cable. All right, that's it.